Christmas used to be my favorite day of the year. When I was little, Mom filled the house with cinnamon smells, songs, and laughter. Now, at 26, I stood outside her door holding a cheap bottle of wine, wondering why I'd even come. My sisters, Megan and Lily, had cars in the driveway, new ones. Mine was an old hatchback that coughed every few blocks. I could already imagine Mom's sharp smile when she saw it. Inside, the living room glowed warm and perfect. "Parker," she sang, arms open but stiff. "We were just talking about your projects." The pause burned. Dad sat quietly beside the tree, pretending to read his paper. Around the table, everyone had news stories, promotions, travels, achievements. Then Mom turned to me. "And you, honey? Still figuring things out?" My throat tightened. "I'm doing okay." She laughed lightly. "Of course you are." The others shifted, uncomfortable. The turkey smelled like a memory I couldn't touch. I wanted to leave right then, but instead I smiled and poured the wine, pretending I didn't notice the pity in their eyes. Dinner started fine, until Mom began her favorite sport, comparison. "Megan just got another raise," she bragged, slicing ham. "And Lily's gallery show was in the paper. Parker, maybe you could learn a bit of drive from your sisters." Lily winced. "Mom." "No, it's fine," I said. "Not everyone measures success the same way." "Oh, sweetie, that's what people say when they're behind." Laughter rippled. My chest went hot. I focused on my plate. Dad reached for the gravy, eyes fixed down. He never stopped her, never once. Then she went further. "Remember when you dropped out of college, Parker? Everyone told me not to worry. You'd find your path. And here you are, still searching." Silence followed, thick as glue. I smiled too hard. "Maybe my path's just different." "Different," she echoed, shaking her head. "That's one word for it." I excused myself, stepped into the hallway, and breathed until the sting behind my eyes faded. In that quiet moment, I promised myself something. Next year would be different. She'd never look at me that way again. After dinner, I helped clean up, though Mom waved me off. "Guests shouldn't do dishes," she said sweetly, knowing full well I wasn't a guest. She liked reminding me I didn't belong to the shiny world she'd built for my sisters. When I left, snow was falling, soft, silent, forgiving. I drove back to my one-room apartment over the auto shop where I worked part-time. The radiator hissed. The window leaked cold air. I sat on the bed and replayed every word she'd said. Failure. Behind. Still searching. On the table sat the folder from a client who believed in me more than my own family did. Inside were sketches and orders for the furniture pieces I designed in the evenings. Customer claimed wood tables and chairs. 2 local cafes had ordered sets. It wasn't much yet, but it was mine. I stared at my calloused hands and whispered, "She'll see." The heater clanked like an old heartbeat. Outside, Christmas lights blinked across the street. I opened my notebook, drew until sunrise, and felt the first spark of something I hadn't felt in years: hope. The months that followed were rough. I worked days at the shop, nights building furniture in a rented garage. Sawdust filled my lungs. Coffee replaced sleep. But orders spread by word of mouth. One cafe led to another. By spring, I was delivering to hotels. Still, I kept quiet online. Mom called sometimes, mostly to talk about my sisters. "You should really get a real job, Parker. You're good with your hands, maybe plumbing." Thank for the vote of confidence. She sighed. "I just don't want you to waste your life chasing hobbies." I hung up before anger spilled out. Every slam of the hammer became a reply I never said. By autumn, I had 5 workers and a business name, Hollow Maple Designs. A boutique store offered to showcase our pieces. The first check covered my debts, the second let me breathe. I smiled when I saw the date on the calendar, December approaching. Christmas. This year, I'd bring more than wine. When December came, the air smelled like with smoke and frost. My workers insisted I take time off. "Go show them what success looks like," Mateo joked. I laughed, though nerves tangled in my stomach. Money wasn't the point, it was respect. Still, the numbers amazed me. Our last contract with a hotel chain cleared 6 figures. I'd bought Mom a gift bag filled with gold jewelry and an envelope of cash, enough to pay off her mortgage twice. The bag shimmered red and silver under the shop lights. On Christmas Eve, I polished my boots, put on a new coat, and drove home through the falling snow. The same car sat in the driveway. Inside, laughter again. I paused on the porch, clutching the bag. My heartbeat matched the knock I gave. Mom opened the door, surprise flickering. Well, look who decided to join us. Her tone was sugar wrapped around thorns. I smiled gently. Merry Christmas, Mom. If she noticed the confidence in my voice, she hid it behind a smirk. The living room hadn't changed. Same big tree, same framed photos of my sisters on the mantel. None of me. Sit, Parker, Mom said, waving me to a chair near the end of the table. Dinner's almost ready. Lily gave me a small smile. Megan avoided my eyes. I could tell they felt sorry for me. That used to bother me. Not tonight. Mom carved the turkey with grand gestures, telling stories about everyone else's success. She didn't ask what I'd been doing. Not once. When dessert came, she poured wine and looked around proudly. My girls are thriving. Megan's engagement, Lily's show, and Parker still doing his little workshop thing. Everyone laughed lightly. My chest tightened, but I stayed calm. It's actually a business now, Mom. She raised a brow. A business? How lovely. Maybe you'll make a profit one day. I smiled. Maybe I already have. She chuckled, missing the meaning. I looked at the gift bag resting by my chair and waited. The time wasn't right yet. After dinner, Mom gathered everyone around the fireplace. Let's open gifts, she said brightly. Wrapping paper flew. My sisters exchanged expensive things, designer purses, watches, perfume. When they were done, Mom clapped her hands. Now, Parker, did you bring something? Her tone made it sound like a joke. I did, I said, holding up the red and silver bag. But first, I have something to say. The room quieted. Only the crackle of the fire spoke. Last year, I began, you call me a failure. I believed you for a while, but the past 12 months taught me something. Sometimes failure is just the first step to building your own way. Mom's smile stiffened. That's nice, dear. I handed her the bag. Merry Christmas. She peeked inside, expecting maybe a trinket. Her hand froze. Gold bracelets glimmered under the lights. Beneath them lay an envelope of crisp bills. The room went silent. Her mouth opened, then closed. Parker, what is this? Just a little thank you, I said softly. For all the lessons you taught me, even the hard ones. Megan gasped. Mom, that's a lot of money. Lily leaned closer, whispering, is this real? Mom lifted one of the bracelets, gold catching the firelight. How could you afford this? I built something. I answered. A company. We design and craft furniture from reclaimed wood. Hotels, restaurants. Hollow maple designs. Her eyes darted to Dad, who was finally watching me with pride instead of worry. You did all that? Yes, I said. It's been a good year. Silence stretched. Then softly, I don't understand. You don't have to. Just know that I'm okay now. I could see her struggling, ego against love. The money didn't matter. The meaning did. For the first time in years, Mom had no words. She stared at the gift bag like it might vanish if she blinked. The others waited, unsure whether to speak. Finally, she whispered, You didn't need to do this. I know, I said. I wanted to. Dad cleared his throat. We're proud of you, son. Those words hit harder than I expected. I nodded, swallowing. Thanks, Dad. Mom looked down at her lap. I should apologize. You don't have to. I do, she cut in, voice shaking. I was cruel last year. I thought I was pushing you to do better. But really, I was ashamed that you didn't fit my idea of success. The room stayed quiet except for the soft hum of the heater. I'm sorry, Parker, she said finally. You deserve faith, not ridicule. My eyes burned. Thank you, Mom. After that, the night softened. Megan poured more wine. Lily brought cookies from the kitchen. Laughter returned, lighter now. Mom held the bracelet in her hands, turning it over slowly. It's beautiful, she murmured. You made this possible with your own work? Every cent, I said. And the workers who helped me. She smiled weakly. Then I'll wear it proudly. When I left that night, she followed me to the door. Parker, she said, touching my sleeve, I'm proud of you. I just wish I'd said that sooner. I nodded. We all learn at our own pace. Snowflakes drifted down, catching in her hair. For a moment, she looked like the mom I remembered from childhood. Warm, gentle, human. Come earlier next year, she said. I will. Driving home through the snow, I felt lighter. Forgiveness, it turned out, weighed less than anger. In January, I threw myself into work. Orders doubled after a magazine featured hollow maple designs as the small workshop changing local spaces. I printed the article, taped it to the wall. Mom called one afternoon. Your story's online. My friends keep sending me the link. I laughed. Guess word travels fast. It does. I brag about you at brunch. Brag. I teased. Don't get used to it. Her tone was playful now. A year ago, it would have been icy. She asked if she could visit the workshop. When she arrived, I gave her a tour. Dust, noise, saws humming. She looked impressed. I thought it would be messy, she said. It is, I admitted, but it's honest work. She smiled. You've built something real. Thanks, Mom. Her eyes softened. I'm still learning what real means. Spring brought new beginnings. We opened a small storefront downtown. On opening day, Mom arrived early with trays of cookies. For your customers, she said. I blinked. You baked these? She shrugged. Maybe I wanted to help. Watching her offer samples to strangers warmed something inside me. That afternoon, a reporter came to interview me. What pushed you to start this? She asked. I thought of last Christmas, of the pain that had sparked the fire. Sometimes being underestimated is the best motivation, I said. Mom listened quietly from across the room. Later, she whispered, I deserve that quote. I smiled. It's not about blame. It's about growth. She nodded, eyes shiny. You've grown more than I could imagine. Maybe we both have. She squeezed my hand, and for once, words weren't needed. Summer heat filled the workshop. Orders came from out of state now. I hired more workers, young people who needed a chance like I once did. Mom visited often, bringing lunch for everyone. You remind me of your grandfather, she said one day. He built things too. I chuckled. Guess it runs in the family. She leaned on a table, watching the sawdust fall. I used to think success meant shiny jobs and fancy degrees. But seeing this, it's different. It's freedom, I said. She smiled. And peace. You seem happy. I am. That night, she called again. Parker, thank you for forgiving me. I didn't know how not to, I replied. She laughed softly. You really are better than me. Just older in different ways. We talked until midnight, about everything except the past. By autumn, life had settled into something beautiful. The business ran smoothly. I even took weekends off, something I'd never imagined. Mom began volunteering at a local shelter, teaching cooking. Feels good to do something that matters, she said. I noticed how much lighter she looked, how her laughter filled rooms again. One Sunday dinner, she announced, this family owes Parker a proper toast. She raised her glass. To my son, who showed me that success isn't about what you have, but who you become. Everyone clapped. My face burned, but my heart swelled. After dinner, she whispered, I meant every word. I know. Outside, the night air was cool and calm. The kind that makes you believe in new starts. That December, I returned home for Christmas again. This time, I parked a brand new truck beside my sister's cars. The house glowed, the same tree shining in the window. Inside, laughter burst like fireworks. Parker's here. Mom called. She hugged me tight. No stiff arms, no hidden edge. Just warmth. Dinner was loud, messy, joyful. When she announced, let's open gifts, everyone cheered. I handed her a small box. Another gift? She teased. Just tradition, I said. Inside lay a delicate gold necklace engraved with one word, believe. She read it, tears filling her eyes. It's beautiful. It's what I needed to do, I said, and what I hope you'll keep doing for yourself. She hugged me hard, whispering, I'm so proud of you, my boy. The following spring, I launched a scholarship for young carpenters. I named it the Riley Grant after Mom. She cried when she found out. You didn't have to, she said. I wanted to. You taught me persistence, even if it came wrapped in hard words. She laughed through tears. Guess we both learned persistence. When the first student received the award, Mom joined the ceremony. She stood beside me, proud and shining. Afterward, she said, You turned pain into purpose. That's rare. I had a good teacher, I said. She shook her head. You had strength I didn't see. Maybe forgiveness wasn't a single moment. Maybe it was this Two people finally understanding each other after years apart. The business kept growing. Magazines called, investors offered partnerships, but I stayed grounded. Mom loved visiting the workshop on busy days. I feel like part of the team, she'd joke, handing out coffee cups. One evening, we locked up together. You know, she said, I used to dream you'd be a lawyer or doctor. And now I just dream that you're happy. I am, I said. She smiled. Then dream granted. We walked to our cars, headlights reflecting off the shop windows. The old wounds between us had become scars, visible but painless reminders of how far we'd come. When summer returned, Mom invited the whole family to her house for dinner. No fancy talk, no comparisons, she promised. Just food and stories. She kept her word. We laughed until our stomachs hurt. After dessert, she stood up. I want to say something. We quieted. I used to think being a parent meant steering your children. I was wrong. It means believing in them, even when you don't understand their road. Her eyes met mine. Parker showed me that. I swallowed the lump in my throat. She raised her glass. To believing, everyone echoed it softly. For the first time, I felt entirely part of that room. That fall, Dad retired and started helping part-time in my shop. Mom joked that we'd stolen him from her. He likes the noise, I said. He likes being near you, she corrected. We all laughed. The family that once felt broken had learned to rebuild, plank by plank, like one of my tables. Sometimes after work, Mom and I would sit outside the shop watching the sunset paint the sky. She'd sigh and say, You turned out all right, Parker. Better than all right. I'd reply with a grin. She nudged me. Don't push it. Another Christmas came around. The house glowed again, but everything felt new. No tension, no hidden barbs. As we gathered for dinner, Mom said, Remember last year? Megan laughed. How could we forget? Mom smiled at me. That was the night I learned humility. I raised my glass, and I learned grace. She nodded. Together, that's a pretty good recipe. We all laughed. Later, when I handed her a simple card instead of jewelry, she opened it and found a note. Thank you for believing. She hugged me, whispering, always. Months later, I expanded Hollow Maple to another city. Mom joined me at the ribbon cutting. She wore the same gold bracelet I'd given her that first Christmas. When cameras flashed, she leaned close. Never thought I'd be the proud mom in a magazine. I grinned. Better late than never. She winked. We're right on time. That night, we celebrated with the crew. She danced with my workers, laughing like a teenager. Watching her, I realized how forgiveness changes people. Not just the one receiving it, but the one who gives it too. Years later, people still asked about the gift bag story. Did she really apologize? Reporters would say. Yes, I'd answer. And that apology changed everything. I told them the truth. It wasn't the money that silenced her, but the realization that I'd grown without her approval and still chose kindness. Mom once told me, kindness is the loudest success. She was right. Every Christmas after, we exchanged small, thoughtful gifts, things made, not bought. A wooden frame from me, a knitted scarf from her. The meaning stayed the same. One snowy evening, she visited the shop alone. Remember that first bag? She asked. How could I forget? She smiled. I kept the envelope. Empty now, of course, but it reminds me that value isn't always money. It's love. I nodded. That's all I wanted you to see. She touched my cheek gently. And I do, Parker. I see you. Those 3 words were worth more than any paycheck. The years rolled on peacefully. Mom grew older, softer, full of stories she once never told. One day, she handed me the gold bracelet. If I'm ever gone, keep this, she said. It reminds me of who we became. I swallowed hard. Don't talk like that. She laughed. Life's long, but not forever. Promise you'll keep forgiving others, yourself. I promise. We hugged for a long time. The bracelet was warm from her skin, shining like a memory that would never fade. A few Christmases later, the family gathered again. The tree sparkled. Laughter filled every corner. Mom sat near the fire, the bracelet gleaming on my wrist now. She looked around and said softly, We've come far, haven't we? I nodded. All the way. She smiled. You taught me that failure isn't falling. It's refusing to rise. I took her hand. And rising is easier when someone forgives you. She squeezed my fingers. Merry Christmas, Parker. Merry Christmas, Mom. Snow fell outside, quiet and endless, covering old footprints with new beginnings. The house glowed with warmth, not from lights or gifts, but from hearts finally healed.